Hello, 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 hello. So today's episode is sponsored by G Body Parts Connect. If you guys are not following G Body Parts Connect, make sure you go do so now. And that just happens to be a KP company. So if you are not following G Body Parts Connect, make sure you go do that right now. So today's guest is Showtime Transmissions. I know he's ready, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring him on. I'm very interested in talking to this young, I hear anyway, arguably one of the best transmission people there are in the business. Hey, how are
Hey,
you?
how you doing?
So listen, I, I hear that for a young man, you are arguably one of the best transmissions people in the business. Um, so so, so that was pretty dope. To when I get ready to do the show, I do my research on different people. If I'm not familiar with them, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool because you don't find very many. What's a good way to say this without?
Don't say it. It is what it is. Don't say it. I
What was
get
I gonna say?
you don't find too many urban black men to do this. You know what I mean? Especially that been in it a long time. I even get it from the Caucasian people a lot. A lot of people just have faded out of the business. So it's just one of them things. It is what it is. I learned to accept it. So.
So first, I wanted to start off by telling you thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to me and answer the fans' questions because I know you guys are very busy, especially everybody trying to get ready for something. Like
Right.
it's summer, it's car show season, it's everybody want to ride, so it's time. Um, then I want to start off with just one of my questions,
Okay.
and then I'll get right into the fans' questions that they sent
Okay.
over. Okay. All right, so tell me how you got started being into cars.
Well, my pops always been into it, but me growing up, I was into video games and stuff like that. So I really went into it for a while until I took my first ride and one of my cousins 85 Cutlass with a 350, what it was, 350 with some 305 heads on
Team G Body.
it. And, and once I took that first ride in it, the adrenaline, man, was like, oh my God, I got to build me one. I've been in it ever since. So that,
So you're a G Body person?
yeah, yeah, definitely. Facts, yeah.
Yeah, now I like you even more.
Yeah, definitely.
You're a G Body person.
Got to keep a G-Bot on hand. Yeah.
All right. What was your first car you ever built?
Um, Monte Carlo. It was a LS, and I cloned it into a SS. That was the first
Mhm.
car that I ever just went deep down and did. I mean, like, you couldn't even tell it. It was that neat. So that was back in 2000. I want to say 2010. I want to say.
Oh, you've been
So it been.
at it for a
Oh
minute.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been in it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how long have you been a transmission shop?
Well, I started at home, so I started that back in 2000, and I want to say 2008, 7, 8, somewhere up in there. We went public about 4 years ago.
Hmm.
Thanks to Jay Malcolm. Hey man, go and do it. And then my wife, she like, hey, my clientele just got big, so big to where I couldn't do it at home no more. She got tired of me dribbling transmission fluid in the driveway and people popping up at the house all kinds of times a day. So she was like, hey, you got to get you a shop. So that's how I ended up getting started.
So that's it's funny you mentioned about the house. I was talking to somebody today, a business owner, and I feel like it is probably the dream to be able to, like, because I use an example, like some people that live like way up the street from me, they have a house.
Right.
They got their house on one part of their land, but they got a huge shop
Right.
on the other part of their land. And that's cost
Yeah.
effective,
Yeah.
but as far as the world is getting so crazy for your
Right.
safety, not not saying that nobody wants to do anything to us or you or anybody, right?
Right.
But it's the world is crazy. So for your safety, it's best to just have something
It's
else.
not only safety, it's just it's no different than any other job. Once you go home, you know, you want to spend time with the family. We want to be away from that business until it's time to go back in the next day. So not only safety, it's just a peace of mind to get away from being there all the time. Like if you do it like I did it at home for years, and man, like I said, I get phone calls 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, you know, like, hey, you can't, you know, some customers, they don't understand that because they work at night. So,
Right.
but you got to be able to get away from it. So that's another reason why we took it away from the house. And because you save a lot of money when you do it on your own property now, don't get me wrong, but
Right.
then you got a lot of other things that come in effect that I did not know about as far as a legal standpoint of doing it at home.
Right.
So you got to grow. In order to grow the business, you got to be in a business environment.
Right. So that's a good segue to my next question. How do you separate, or how do you have work-life balance? So how do you say, okay, well, this is my family time, this is my personal time, and then this is my work time? Are you good at that, or how does that go?
I have a problem with that.
Right.
My wife, if anybody ever call, she'll pick up the phone. But she had to make me separate the business from my personal life. Because you can get so involved with it to where you only thing you think about is trying to please the customers, you know. So shout out to Miss Showtime for that, because she the one that showed me that peace of mind. Like, hey, every minute ain't got to be involved around building transmission. So you still got a son, you got a wife at home. So hey, it's my time now. So that's basically how she broke it down.
So do you still try to sneak and do it, or how does that go?
Now, when I'm at home, a lot of people they still hit me up after hours. Just shoot me a text message, email me. When I'm at home, I'm at home. Like, hey, ain't no doing nothing when I'm at home, because I'm probably working on my own stuff, or I'm probably just chilling with my guys. You know, we just chilling. But when I'm away from the shop, I don't even want to talk about the shop.
Wait a
You
minute.
know,
So
it's
now when you home, you working on your
my
own
own
stuff?
stuff. Yeah, yeah, I got my own stuff. You gotta have your own peace of mind every now and then, you know.
That's not separating it. You're not
Well,
supposed to be working on your stuff.
what I do is it's hard for me to see. I always did stuff myself,
Right.
so it's hard for me to just, okay, here go my car, you finish it, and when I get it back, my expectations don't be what I like, because I know I've been doing it so long, so I know what to look for. I'm not gonna just settle for anything. So after working 14, 16 hours a day, I come back and I still, hey, babe, look, I need about 2 hours to work on this car. So that's just how I go.
Well, it sounds like she's a dope lady to still let you work 14 hours at the shop and then come home and
Uh,
still give you 2 hours
yeah,
to work on your stuff.
sometimes she'll let me do it, but most of the time I try to squeeze it in while she at work or something like that. But, you know, and then some days, like on the weekends, 12 o'clock on Saturdays, I'm out of there. Sunday, no, that's off limits, and we closed on Mondays. But lately I've been juggling my schedule around, so basically I'm just doing everything by appointment now. Car show season
Oh,
coming around, so everybody want to get in, want to get stuff done. I got my own cars I'm trying to take to the car show, so, and then now we got football finna start back up, so hey, I just got to juggle it the best way I can.
boy, it's about to get hectic for you, huh?
Man, it already started.
So, as being a small minority-owned business, what is the biggest obstacle you face?
Telling my customer no. That's the biggest obstacle. And usually what it does, my wife tell me is just pitch you farther behind. Because I'm always trying to make sure I please every customer I can to their expectations, whether I like it or not. And sometimes it just one of them deals, like it get overwhelming. That's one of the biggest things.
So, how do you combat that? So, like, I know as being a person who's a business owner, sometimes my customers' expectations are not realistic.
Yeah.
How do you defeat that? Like how do you work on that?
Uh, I just started. I'm starting to come around and say no. Just because once I go back and look at my books over the years of all my stuff on the loss as far as the time and stuff like that, like you're not paying for that time. So time is very valuable now. So if you ain't paying for that time, I gotta tell you no. I mean, I hate
Mm-hmm.
to but this business, you know what I mean? A lot of the stuff that I used to do, I'm just kind hearted. A lot of people, if anybody know me, I'm kind hearted. My wife tell me that all the time. And I'll do anything for you. Stay out there. I help you out. I mean, I look out for you. Hey, buddy, this ain't right here in your car. Can you fix it? Yeah, I do it for you. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But now it's just business. You know, hey, you come in, you get the transmission done. I mentioned to you, look, hey, I advise you to do this. I advise you to do that and let it go. But as far as doing anything extra, I can't do it because I got too much going on right now.
Right. Um, what's your this is a two-part question. What is your favorite part about being in the car world and your least favorite part about being in the car world?
And the my favorite part is just seeing my customers happy with the product that we put out. You know what I mean? And my least is man, I got a couple of those.
Go ahead.
The least is the low baller. Like it's crazy. Like a lot of people try to lowball you, but then go around to someone else, a reputable shop, and be like, okay, I pay more. Um, and then that's one of my biggest pet peeves about that. Like if you gonna I've been doing this a long time. You just ain't seen it, but I've been doing it a long time. Just hey, I got a lot of knowledge. I got more knowledge than what I put out there. So if I tell you something, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be pretty accurate.
Right. If you have not already, what is your dream car to build?
Um, I'm looking at well, I really don't have a dream car. I just like building cars. Even when I was young, I like building cars. You know, if I see that car and it got potential and my budget can handle it, I'm gonna build it. I don't care what it is. It can be a Ford Falcon. I don't even care.
Um, do you rebuild stock transmissions or just high performance?
Stock and high performance. I do a lot of daily driver stuff. So yeah, I do that also.
Hmm. So when you opened your shop, you left home, you opened your shop. What was the moment you knew you looked around and you was like, oh man, this getting crazy. It's not crazy in a bad way, but you was like, you know how like the song Drake got N-word, we made it. You
Oh,
know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Oh, oh. I still ain't accepted it though. I mean, it's my wife. She tell me all the time. My wife, she like the backbone of the whole business. Cause without her, man, she put me in places where I never thought I'd be. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have had a shop. Put it that way.
Right.
So like, I still ain't accepted it. It, it's still like even 4 years in. I mean, I just do it just because of the love of it. You know, I started out doing it because like I say, I didn't have a lot of money growing up, you know, and I didn't have no money to pay nobody. So hey, I get in the book and I figure it out myself. And it just started like one day, and I went to school for it. I failed the class. I started over, and finally passed the class. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? It's just something nobody do in my hometown, and I just basically mastered it. So still learning to the day.
So you failed the class,
Oh
what, transmission
yeah.
school?
Well, I went to NASCAR Technical Institute
Mhm.
up in Northville, North Carolina in 2006, but a lot of people don't know that. I was ASC certified and everything. But once I got to the end of the course, it was like Man, because I didn't go. I think I got one grant. That was it. And my mom still had to pay out of pocket for it. I'm like, you know what? I learned all this shit back in high school. I ain't gonna do this. So I dropped out. No lie, I dropped out. And I figured one thing out that I want to do. And that was a transmission. So I got books and books and books, you know what I mean, for transmission. So I studied it and put it in my own car. If it didn't work, then I go back and try it again. And we kept going from there.
So how do you stay updated on the latest technology with all the things that are changing? Do you continue to go to school? How do you stay updated on the latest technology?
Well, I stay with one brand basically. And throughout the years, yeah, bathroom. Sorry about that. Bathroom. Go in the garage and get it out the garage. This. Go. Yeah. Go get it out the garage. Sorry about that.
You good.
But what I do is, as far as the technology wise, it's basically gonna be all the same. It's just brushing up on it every now and then. I usually don't brush up on anything new until it's time. Like the 2018, 19, 21s and stuff like that. I did a 2018 back in 2018, so I already knew what it was before everybody even started hitting the block with it. So speeds and 10 speeds, I've been doing them. I just don't advertise it.
What? So why don't you advertise? That's not what your preference on doing them, or what?
Well, when you got to think about it, when the new technology come out like that, they having issues with them. Right. To this day, they having issues. And I reached out to a big company, and I was talking to one of their representatives, and I'm like, hey, do y'all have anything new on this type of bill that, you know, that y'all have been successful with? They were like, no, GM haven't released anything yet. But GM, I got a bulletin thing that GM actually released and stuff like that I read up on when they finally figure out a problem. So I stay brushed up on it, but until the time happens, I just stay with it. You know, I just stay with what I know work until something else come out the way I can actually be like, okay, I feel confident in it the way I can sell it to my customers.
You know, when I first became aware of you, my buddy, and when I say where he's from, you probably gonna know who I'm talking about. My buddy came from Detroit to get a transmission from you.
Yeah.
And I was like, why do you come way down to Georgia to get a transmission? He was like, you got to go follow Buddy, Buddy the truth. So I just quietly click on, you know what I'm saying? This is the way that like, I always find guests, or I run my show. When somebody tell me about something that they're getting done to their car, I'll go follow the person.
Yeah.
And then I just pay attention. I just watch. I go on their page. First I don't do all the likes because I don't be wanting them to be aware, right? But I go down their page and look at everything, and and then I talk to my buddy, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm good," because not all shops. I mean, players mess up too, but not all shops are like, But he was like, "Yeah, I'm good. Make sure because he gon', you know what I'm saying. If you don't already feel like he like big in this, he is gonna be super big." And that's the thing, when your customers big up you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I know everybody mess up. Right, I don't, but the main thing is when you have people that have actually done business with you, like especially for me around the time that I'm trying to talk to you. And then when he said that, it seemed like, like the universe was listening, because everybody was, you know what I'm saying, telling me, hey, it's Showtime, whoop de whoop. And I was like, dang, let me go ahead and reach out to him and go ahead and get him on the show. Because now that's just confirmation that I need to go ahead and get him on the show.
And he, good guy, man. That guy, he looked out for me big time, 1 or 2 times, you know what I mean? So I talk to him pretty much on the regular now. Like I said, customers, I mean, he good hometown folk, man. Me and him don't got so close. He was like, hey, D, man, go on up there to my house, just stay at my house, man. I ain't even gonna be there. I'm like, what? Real?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, shit, man, bet, man. So yeah, he looked out for me on one of my G bodies. So Yeah, shout out to him, man. He great guy, great guy.
Yeah, he is a god. Man, listen, that you don't very rarely meet people in this world that like you're not related to that make you feel like you're related to them.
Right.
So that's I seen him Sunday at Stunt Fest. So yeah, I'm gonna have to call him after this. But how do you handle, like we talked about, when customers when things don't come to their meet up to their expectations, or say for instance a customer has a problem with some work that you do, how do you handle that?
Well, normally what I do, I got actual steps that I go through. All right, let's just say we put a transmission on a customer car, and let's just say he drive for 6 months, right? Normally you get a year warranty if I install. 6 months ago, I guess what? You call me, hey, Showtime, man. I was just going down the interstate and went out on me. All right, cool, man. No problem. Bring it back. Let me see what's going on. I built him a whole nother unit or I fixed that one. No cost, no extra cost.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say you get 8 months down the road and they do it again. Like, okay, we got a problem going on. Let's just switch the whole unit out. I do whatever I can just to make sure, whether I had to take a loss on it. You know what I mean? Just to make sure my name and face card clean. So that's another reason why the name speaks for itself. But either way it go, I try to resolve everything I can with my customers. I got some that you can't make happy. I mean, you ain't gonna make every last one of them happy. My wife tell me that all the time. Like it bothers me when I don't make my customers happy. You know what I mean? Because I'm not that guy. Um, but she like, you ain't gonna make everybody happy, and that's one thing I'm learning. Like, I've been over backwards for all of them if I can. But hey, I give you exactly what you pay for. You want to be cheap, you're gonna get a cheap bill. You know what I mean? You want to lie to me about what you're gonna do with it? Well, guess what? They're gonna come back pretty quicker than what you think it is.
Right.
Um, you know, anything happen, I pretty much can tell what happened when I get inside of it. So you can't bull jive me about anything about a transmission.
It's some customers, and I swear I'm like one of the most nonviolent people there are. But some customers, I swear, I just be want to say, bro, I will punch you in your face.
And you can't do it. Them be the day my wife used to tell me, look, just go home and take 2 days off. You know what I mean? She like, me and the boy got it. You just take the day off, man. And I go home, work on my car for a day. I come back in, I'm ready to go. I
Right.
just learned that, being a business owner, I'm not gonna argue with no customer. You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
not. I'm gonna let you yell. You can yell all day, but when you get done, the first thing I'm gonna say is you finished. Can we come to a conclusion now? If we can't come to a conclusion, we just got to part ways.
Now, you don't have to go into great detail if you don't want, but what's one of the worst customer, like I said, the customer, I got a story, like I wanted to just really punch Buddy in the face, but I did not.
Oh,
You want to talk about?
all right. So I got plenty on, but it's all this the one that got me the most. All right, so this customer go out and buy this computer system for his 4L60 that I know is the absolute worst. So I tell him what to do before he even install it. He put it in. I said, check for this, check for this, check for this, check for this. Eventually, it gonna go out on you. Change your computer system. Well, he didn't. So he brought it back. Okay. Hey man, look, did you do this? Oh hell, I did it, but I didn't do this. Well, look, I'm gonna look after you this time. When it's time for me to do it, I'm gonna look after you. Make sure you check these when you get it back in the car. Well, second time he burned it up again. So he come back to me and like, hey man, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what you doing. I said, dude, is you still on the same computer system I told you that bull crap? He was like, yo. I said, look, man, ain't nothing else I can do for you. I'm sorry, because I'm not gonna keep doing this. If you don't want to listen to me, if you come to me for my product and you don't want to listen to me the way I know it gonna work, then I'm sorry for you. Ain't nothing I can do for you. It is what it is. So he went to put a bad review on my Google. You know what I mean? Like, people look at me like, nah, man, that ain't nothing to you. I was like, yeah, I know it. It's all good. it is what it is. You can't please everybody. That was like the absolute worst. Like it was just stupid. Like, man, come on, bro. I'm what causing your problem, and you looking at you second guessing my nature. So that shit aggravate the shit out of them when they don't listen.
Yeah, yeah. That's when you make sure you paperwork them. Hey, listen, you got to sign this because I told you.
My wife, she been on my butt about that shit because me, my handshake mean a lot.
Right.
And now what I've been learning is ain't no more handshakes.
No.
You know what I mean? So now I just got to do everything on paper. Once
Right.
I needed to get to that point because I know it might hurt my business a little bit, but I got to do it just like the others do it. You see what I'm saying? Because people don't take me serious because I'm a young black man doing this stuff. You know what I mean? And I get it a lot.
What you know what I see a lot, and this is nothing personal towards, like you said, young African American men, or just young men doing business, or young people, period. And let's not just say men.
Right.
What I find is a lot of us we got to handle the business. What I mean by that is, sadly and unfortunately, you're going to have to sign this.
Exactly.
Sadly and unfortunately, when you bring your car, we got to do a walk around. We need to see if it's any scratches.
Yep.
We need to take pictures of these scratches because you're going to say, I scratched your car. So guess what? In your file.
KP, I got one I got to tell you about. Oh, my God. I forgot about this, but I got one I got to tell you about. So, about the car to Texas, right? He bring it to me. Long story short, he bring it to me. LS motor. I mean, car clean as hell. And he bring it to me. Put the transmission in the car. I find out that the rear end is broken in the car. That's the reason why every XYZ messed up. Car won't move when I put it in gear. I look up under the drive shaft, just spinning. I'm like, what the hell? Immediately I call the customer. Hey man, your rear end broke. So as I call him, I go back and look up under the hood. He got gas coming out the exhaust. You can see it coming through the header. I'm like, oh shit, let me cut it off because it's gonna burn my shop down. You know what I mean? I hope it don't catch on fire. Well, in the meantime, while I'm doing that, the car don't cut off. It don't cut off. I'm like, oh my God, I'm panicking now. I'm running to get my fire extinguisher. Cause the car running. I mean, I'm like, I don't want that clean car to burn up, but you know what I mean? Like, shit, I'm gonna lose everything I got in this, you know. I had to clip the alternator while to cut the car off. All right. So I called him like, hey buddy, you gotta come get your car. Your car is a liability. I had to push it outside. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And I said, look, I'm calling one of my buddies to come, because the window didn't even go up on the car. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, I called one of my electrician buddy, hey bro, come up here and get this one to go up on the car for me. He come over there, he get it up, no extra charge, bro. Look, my buddy came and did it. I ain't gonna charge you now. Get the car fixed, drive it, you should be fine. Tune it, you'll be all right. Well, 4 months go by. He called me and he tell me, say, hey, Showtime. I said, yeah, what's up? Man, you messed up my car. I said, huh? He said, man, I got 4 cracked pistons. I got this going on my car. I'm missing the steering wheel. I'm missing the nut on my steering wheel. I'm like, what the? I said, dude, your car running when it was here. That's why I called you. And, you know, man, when I tell you I got so hot, man, me and him went at it back and forth. No lie. We went at it back and forth. My wife heard it. She heard me outside and she was in the house. That's how bad it was. And she come out there. She was like, give me the phone. So she get the phone. And she calmed the whole situation down. I talked back to Buddy. Me and him got straight. And I told him straight up. I said, look, man, I was the reason you came and got your car because I didn't want nothing to happen to it.
Right.
You know, like some customers don't understand, like, we got to do this stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like you were saying, you got to sign your waiver. I just made a post yesterday. If you buy a transmission from me and I don't install it, all your liability go away when you walk out the door. Because what people doing when they put them in their car, and I have had it that way, people will go put them in the car. Showtime, look, man, this thing ain't even working. Well, your install guy just bust the pump in when he put the torque converter in the car. Well, that ain't working. And then, hey, can I bring it over for you to fix it? No. Yeah, you can bring it. You can bring it, but I'm going to charge you for it. You know what I mean? gonna be free, man. I just paid you to do transmission. That's not my fault. You know what I mean? So they have a problem. They have a problem with that. Like, if you pay for the job that you got done, you know what I mean? That's the only thing you get. You can't get nothing extra no more. I've been doing it for 3-4 years. You ain't getting nothing no extra.
Right. So now you're doing the walk around, you're doing the crank up, you're doing all them things because of that man who car was gonna catch your shop on fire.
Only that, it was just one of them deal. Like, it's just something that you gotta do. I learned over the last few years you gotta do it. It ain't no. I've been gracious enough this long. You know what I mean? And been getting away with it, but it's one of them deal like it gonna come back and bite me, so I gotta do it.
Right. I've been, it's one of those things where like, okay, because I be around so many shops, people like, KP, I know you're gonna open your shop. First of all, no, I'm not gonna open no shop. I see too much of what go on, the things that y'all go through with y'all customers. I see too much. I'm not doing it. But if I ever did, or maybe say in the future I got with somebody who had a shop, you get what I'm saying? I already know all these things that I'm talking to you about, baby.
Yeah.
These are the things you need to do to your shop. You got to take pictures of this car. You got to all these things. You need to have a file. You need to update them weekly. When they don't come and get their car when they car ready, 30 days, we're going to file that paperwork. Like, I know so many people that got so many cars around their shop because when the last time you heard from this person?
Yeah. That one thing that I try not to do, like, I don't bring cars. Like, people come, hey, man, can I drop it off? No, you can't drop it off. I call you when you can drop it off, and you got basically 24 hours to get it to me. If not, you going to the end of the list. You know, like, no, that's one thing I hate. I've been in the mechanic field a long time. I hate being a mechanic. You know what I mean? But I like building transmissions. I don't want to be a mechanic. So people be like, hey, can you change my brakes? No, I don't want to. I'm not a mechanic. I'm a transmission builder. I do mechanic work. I mean, transmission work. So, no, you're not dropping your car off at my shop at all unless I tell you to. And, man, I promise you, I'm going to get it back to you. By the time I hit you back, you going to be ready to pay for it. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
yeah, that sitting around with the cars, man, they just do something to me. I hate that.
So what's the policy on? So you said you call them when it's ready, and usually how long does it take you to install a transmission?
It just depends on, like, if I got one built and I got somebody there to help me. See, right now I'm a one-man show right now. So, if I got one ready, I go ahead and knock it out. You know, let's just say he called me, I need a 350 transmission. All right, I got one on the shelf. Bring it tomorrow. I can have it done tomorrow. I can have it done the same day, as long as I ain't got nothing going on.
Hmm.
I mean, it could be that quick. You know, people have seen it. Like, shout out to Jay Malcolm. We schedule everything, and he on time. He get it done. Once he get it there, next day I'm calling him. Jay, come pick it up. You know what I mean? If he bring it early, no, Jay, come get the car, bro. We're ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
It can be that fast, but a lot of it's a headache because you trying to make everybody happy quick, but sometimes it don't always work that way. Now I have slowed it down to where if I build, like, I installed a transmission in the car. Today's Monday. I installed it Friday. I ain't even called the customer to come get it yet because I want to make sure he ain't got no leaks on it. He ain't got, no issues for it whatsoever. I'm going to get in it while it's cold and I'm going to drive it. I'm going to get in it while it's hot and drive it all day. You know what I'm saying? So that take time. So it's just not something quick. But a race car, yeah, I get it out of there quick. That's what I always did, race cars.
Oh, yeah? Okay. So without going too deep into specifics, because here's the thing. I'm building a car right now. So anytime I be interviewing somebody, this could possibly be somebody I'm going to bring my car to.
All right.
So without going too far into specifics, say for instance, somebody just wanted to have a transmission for a daily driver.
Right.
Would it be a whole lot of money? Because like this car, I know this car stuff is very expensive.
Yeah, and KP it's have gotten so far out of hand since COVID to where I used to build 350 transmissions. This is how I got my name. I used to build 350 transmissions for $375.
Wow.
They last for years. I can't even buy a kit for $375 no more. See what I'm saying? So when a lot of my older customers come back and say, "Hey man, why so much?" Hey, it's just inflation, man. I gotta pay my help. You know what I mean? If you want it back fast, I gotta make sure that hey, I got the people here to do it when you call me. I mean,
Right.
it's personal, but it's just one of them deals. The profit period where it ain't even fun no more because the profit margin has shrink. It has shrink
Right.
a lot. You know, well, it used to be okay, but you know, you got overhead now, so when
Yeah.
you got to make sure you get it done. You got the manpower to do it, then everything be slow.
Then I got a whole team of guys that I book races for, so and they race, so you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
check it out. I get people in. Hey, can I get it back tomorrow? Man, no, man. I be want to say yeah, but I had to say no because I'm not the one that like to be up under pressure, but I can do it. But racing, I started out in the racing field. That's how I actually started. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, they told me today I need a 4L60, so you know what I mean?
all right.
Just putting that out there.
You, for example, you gonna put a 4L60.
Huh?
What you gonna put it in?
In a Monte Carlo.
Uh, Engine wise, what you did to the engine?
I can't. I'll call you after this.
Well, I'm just using it for example. Just throw me something out there just so the people can see exactly how that thing go. It ain't got to be exactly what's going on, but I'm gonna tell you how it go.
No,
Oh, gotta get
I'll tell you after this. You put something out there. We'll go with what you
like
say.
let's just say if anybody gonna do a LS swap, right?
Right?
We'll stop transmission on the LS swap because I know what it's gonna potentially be done to it. So a bill like that usually start at $2,800, and that's the same one our buddy got, and he drove from Detroit to Wichita, all over, man. And I mean, it worked. You know what I mean? But it costs. But people don't like. You got $1,000 set of internals in this thing that that I know work for a fact. So you can't shortcut that.
Right.
And then they go and tune it, and man, they just blow it out of the water. I got a problem, Showtime. Like, fuck, not today. You know, like, I told you it ain't gonna work, man. So,
Right.
but yeah,
That way that paperwork come in at. That way when I told you to change this computer, let me type this up and you
I
gonna
got,
sign it.
got
That way.
I actually got like I got a warranty deed. I got one. You know, I bend it a little bit because in mine, but I try to make my customer happy. I don't like to make everybody mad, but a lot of the people come in and the last thing they do is build a transmission and want to skimp on it. And I'm like, bro, this is the most important thing in the car.
Mhm.
Fit $20,000 in the motor, but you want an $1,800 transmission. How long you think they're gonna last?
Right.
You know?
Listen, let me just tell you back I have never this is my first actual time building a car on my
Okay.
own. I built one with my brother and two with my ex. And let me just tell you, I had to commend anybody who build. I commend the builders, but I commend the people who wake up and say, I want to build a car. Because let me just tell you, I feel like being a drug addict is way cheaper than
Oh yeah, the
building
building.
these cars.
You see, oh, did you see my Malibu? You see my Malibu, my blue one?
Hmm.
Well, they're back in the paint shop again the fourth time. Fourth time. Well, it fourth time paint this car the same color. You know what I mean? So it's very even with my own stuff. It's you call somebody to do the job. You want it back in a certain amount of time, and I understand stuff don't happen. I'm a business owner. I mean, we get tired. You know what I mean? You want your best work out there, so you get tired. But sometimes it's just overwhelming building cars. I had one, two, three. I had about 4 cars I was working on at one time. I sold 2 of them and parted them.
Your own
Yeah.
cars?
Just because I don't feel like dealing with the headache no more to get anybody to do anything, especially when I got to run the shop. You know what I mean? I got guys that'll help me, but certain stuff like paint guys. My main thing is paint guys. I can't get nobody to freaking paint like I want them to paint for nothing.
Right.
Like, hey, I need it quick. Well, I know I can't get it back quick, but 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that'll be cool with me.
Mhm. You know, most of you guys who own shops and work on cars, y'all hoarders when it comes to the cars. You know that, right?
It
Like,
started
why
out,
do you need 4 cars at once?
well, waiting on one to get done, and then, well, you know what, I got this one going. If out of sight, out of mind, I ain't got nothing to work on, so I'm finna buy another car. It's just how it go. I'm just gonna buy another one and then just keep building from there.
Then you look around and you got 5 cars, 7 cars. What's the most cars you've owned at one time?
Um, Tagged or just owned?
Just owned.
About 9.
See, why you need 9 cars?
I didn't. I mean, I didn't drive them all 9, but I was working all of them at the same time. But at least 5 of them were tagged. So my wife,
Hoarder.
she like, hey, you gotta do something about all these damn cars. Our insurance going up. You can't drive all these cars. I said,
You was a hoarder.
yeah. But being in the automotive field, people, that have stuff, and you like, man, that's a good deal. So let me just jump on it. And I have a pile of parts in the corner that I have. Like, I've been selling stuff like crazy just because I was using these on the other cars. You know what I mean? Like, I always have did that. I always bought a lot of parts, put them up, and just build something with all the stuff I got.
What's the most surprising thing in the car culture now for you versus that has changed the most versus back then? Like back, I'm not sure how old you are, but back in the day, what's the one thing that's changed the most? And you're like, dang.
Tell you how long I've been doing this. I used to be, what is it? I think it was not Gresham Road, Candler Road with Big Lat. I used to go up there back in the day. You know what I mean? And going to car shows right now is just judging. The judges don't know nothing about the cars.
Right.
They just, okay, this is a 2021 Camaro, and it's a 21. Like, no, you're not built, not bought. You know what I mean? Use that term. You got to look for details. You got to see. You got to look up under that car. You got to see what been doing to it. You got to massage it a little bit, But it's just the judging in car shows now. It just ain't nothing like it used to be.
You're right about that. That's funny. I was talking to Hilette just the other day. Okay, so I grew up in Florida. So, of course, we're the dunk capital. Dunks was it, right? Since I was a little bitty girl. But, I've never really, I always appreciated how beautiful the cars were, but I've always been into racing. I was never a car show person. But as I started to grow in the car world, I started to go to car shows. And the one thing that I respect about a lot of the bigger car shows is they have a point system.
Right.
So
right.
you ain't gonna just walk around and say, "Oh, Showtime, my buddy, so he won." You know what I'm saying? So I've always said if I put together a car show, it need to be a point system.
Yeah.
Cause we ain't gonna just give you the trophy because you my buddy. The points gonna add up, and that's how you get your trophy.
Yeah, you get that a lot. I mean, I just now started. I built my truck. It been a couple car shows. And then my Malibu, I just brought it out this year. So I've been building it for 2.5 years. You know what I mean? Never took me that long to build a car. I usually can build one in 6 months, but taking it out, people seeing it, like, it's just, people don't even look for detail. It's making not even want to worry about it. I'm like, just put the tag and insurance on, let's just drive it. Forget all the car shows.
Right.
It ain't.
So where do you see your business in the next 3 to 5 years?
I don't know, KP. Eventually, I hope it grow. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna kill myself doing it because I ain't gonna say I'm getting old, but you get burnt out. I got some guys that help me out here and there. But I just don't take on the work I can. If it grow, it grow. If it stays steady, it stays steady. If my wife tell me, say, hey, you know what, let's just retire and just leave it alone. I mean, I'm cool with that too. Because I always had the knowledge, and I trained 2 guys, and I know for a fact that they want to go do it themselves, they can do it. So hopefully we grow. Like I said, I hope we grow to this big shop, like all the big companies, you know what I mean? But you still got to put in the effort for it. But yeah, still do it every day. I'm just waiting on that break like everybody else. How about that?
Right. It seems like for a lot of shop owners, the hardest thing is finding good help.
Right. And what is not, you can find the good help, but making sure people pay on time and making sure you do right by your guys or gals so they can stay. You know what I mean? That comes in with the budget or how you actually quote your prices. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I put out 200 transmissions last year. You know what I mean? Like, burnt out. But, you can't make everybody stay. You can't.
You ain't even old enough to be burned out.
Man, I've been doing it a while. I've been doing it, man. I used to build. I get off work 12 hours, right? Come home, build a transmission for another 8 hours, and then turn around and go back to work, and then, take a nap and go back to work at night. So that's how I built my clientele for years. So, I mean, you get burnt out. Like you got a business for yourself, paperwork, customers, problems, other folk problems. Like, nah.
I think that's the part that people don't see. Like, a lot of people don't see the part you just said. People don't see the part that you got customers in California, so they 3 hours behind, so you trying to stay up to talk to them, or you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that, like, people just look good, so they see you out and about, they see you in your Malibu, they like, oh man, Showtime, but they don't know you done stayed up 20 hours yesterday.
Oh, I did. I did, and plus I work another job too. So, and then I still run the shop. So, like, I come home, take 2 hour nap, and I go back to the shop. I had one of my good customers. I mean, shout out to him. He came from Tennessee. I ain't even have his transmission ready this morning, KP. I've been working so much, so I had to get it done. So I come in, take me a 2 hour nap, and I go back to the shop. Buddy at home already. You know what I mean? So I do that type of stuff for my customers. They don't see that. But then I still got to go. My wife helped me with the paperwork. We got to answer calls. Every time I answer a call while I'm actually working on a transmission, well, that's a problem because now you cutting into somebody else's time. You cutting into my time. So people call all day constantly. So sometimes I get my phone to my wife, like, hey, handle that for me because I need to get this done.
Right. My last question is, when you're old and sitting in your rocking chair and drinking your lemonade on the porch, what do you want your legacy to be?
I made it already. I already did. I've been one of the most successful youngest black guys to actually do this. I got a lot of transmissions out there, but a lot of people don't like to advertise because they always want to go to the big guys and not give me the respect that I need, you know what I'm saying, that I earn. And it kind of hurt. It kind of hurt the game a little bit. But then you got the other ones. Hey, I love what you do. You know what I mean? So I did it already. I did it already. Far as the numbers don't lie. I put it that way. My son can go on YouTube, go anywhere. You can go on Google me, and see that, hey, my network. He can see who I am. If I leave here today, he can always got something to remember me by. That's the main thing. As long as I know he know who his dad is, and hey, I already did it. I don't care. I already did it. I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. I've built my cars from scratch. I have been on the bumper on cars I built in my garage with no help. I built my own motors. I built my transmissions. I built my rear ends. I painted my own cars. Ain't nothing I can't do on a car. And unfortunately, a lot of people can't build a transmission on their own race car or their own personal car. I can do that. I can build anything just like an old head can.
Well, I don't know any better way to end the interview. Is there anything else you want your fans, followers, supporters, heck, even your haters? Is there anything you wanted to say before we get
I
out of here?
appreciate it, everybody. I appreciate you for having me on. I didn't know you were this close to me. Um, like I said, I be in your hometown every day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, shoot, man. I Hey, I just appreciate everybody. It's an honor to be on this. You know what I mean? Because when you reached out to me, I'm like, I ain't never heard of her before. And I go and I look, and I'm like, oh my God, look at her followers. Like, okay, getting somewhere now. So look, man, I might be getting somewhere. You know. So, but yeah, I hope I can. If I can help anybody, man, shoot me an email. I'm in Monroe, Georgia, man. I ship nationwide. I if I don't answer the phone, shoot me a text message. Give me a call back during regular hours. But if I'm working on something, man, I'm not gonna answer the phone. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna answer because over the years, it's just I've been overworking myself, and I'm just gonna go back to the pace that I used to do it and enjoy it. Cause you get when you gotta do it, you ain't gonna enjoy it. You know what I mean? So
Well, you know what that says to you though, when you was like when I reached out to you, that and this is something that I have had to learn over the course of maybe the last couple years. You never know who's watching you. So
exactly.
with
Yep.
that being said, it sounds like you doing all the right things. So just keep in mind you never know who's watching you.
Exactly. Yep. There's one good thing, and stuff like that. Like when people see me, man, and I did something, a transmission for you, man. Shout it out, man. Pick me out there because it's only gonna make me grow. If I grow and you come back and say, man, you know what, man, you did a transmission for me back in 2010, man. I'm like, for real? I came to your house and did it. I mean, for real? Like, yo, that make me feel good. That keep me going. You know what I'm saying? Because we still, as business owners, gotta have that uplift. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not trying to sound like no whatever, but we still had to have the uplift because there's so much negativity in this world now. People is so angry. You know what I mean? So you just gotta, hey man, we gotta keep each other up, man. That's the only
Absolutely.
way to go.
And I tell people all the time too, we all we got. Like I can't tell you how many things, how many customers I've gotten just from word of mouth. It wasn't on Google. It wasn't on just somebody saying, hey, well, she got this, or she do that, or she do this. So at the end of the day, we have to keep the money circulating between
Right,
us.
right.
And that's my goal. So if hopefully somebody's seen today that wants to get their transmission built. And if somebody asks me if I know somebody that builds, she said, how do you prefer that customers reach out?
Inbox me on Instagram, Showtime Trans _ or hit me up on Showtime Transmission on Facebook. I usually respond back to that pretty quick because I stay on social media checking stuff out, buying parts. So, yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, that way. I had to keep the phone calls to a minimum because I have so many people call. They were calling me more for problems than actual bills. Like, okay, I gotta put this. I gotta put a stop to this.
Right. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down and answer our questions today. If anybody is not following Showtime Transmissions, make sure y'all go do that now. And like you said, he's open for business and available. Y'all reach out to him and get your transmissions.
I'm here.
Thank you. Have a great
All
day.
right, KP. Thank you.
All right. So guys, today's guest again was Showtime Transmissions. If you are not following him, make sure you go follow him on Instagram right now. Make sure that you tell him you saw him on KP's show if I am the reason that you are reaching out to Showtime Trans. Thank y'all for joining I can't get it out. Thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of Rides and Vibes, and I'll see you guys next week. If you did not catch the full show, make sure you catch the replay on YouTube. I'll have it uploaded in about the next 30, 45 minutes. Thank y'all for tuning in.